shut this off because I'm gonna get dinged for copyright infringement. Okay. Okay, guys, so actually this is a last minute video, which you can tell. So here's this backstory. Originally, like, we have friends, they're a couple that got married, I don't know, let me think, 32 years ago? Their anniversaries today. My birthday was yesterday. So often we go out to celebrate. And we were going to do that tonight. That was the plan. And then I start looking at all these, and I'm not dissing restaurants, disclaimer. But I start looking at the menus, the prices, and all these things. So I said, why don't you just come here for supper? Like, honestly, I'd rather cook. I get so disappointed all the time at restaurants. The prices are crazy and the food is mediocre oftentimes. And I get disappointed all the time. And I think of all the money we spend on this meal, and it's great. Like, if you have a favorite restaurant, keep going. But I just don't anymore. And so anyway, I'm making meatloaf, and I figured I'll do the video on meatloaf because that's something you can make every week or whatever for your family. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So I just thought, well, I'll do a video. So, oh, and I don't have my microphone. Hang on. Okay, I got it. I hope it's charged and I hope it's working. Anyway, so I have approximately 2 pounds of hamburger. Haven't weighed it. Okay, it says it's connected now. So what I have here, because I make sourdough bread, it calls for 3/4 cup of breadcrumbs. So sourdough, Glenn and I are the only ones that really like it. The other kids said they didn't like it, but now that they've learned to fry it in the frying pan, I can hardly keep it in the house. But when I get loaves that have gone stale, I blend them in my blender and I make breadcrumbs. So this is 3/4 cup of breadcrumbs, 3/4 cup of milk, and 2 eggs. So I'm mixing this in. Sorry, I got a lot of other stuff here. Mixing this in with the approximately 2 pounds of hamburger. There it is. So that's going in there. And then I am putting in, I put a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. I'm supposed to, I don't think I actually put it in yet. All right, I'm putting a teaspoon-ish. Yeah, I like it flavored. I'm also, not according to the recipe, throwing in this pesto that I have made. I just want to save one bite because I love this stuff. So good. Half a medium onion. So that's what I got, pretty much. I just had this in the fridge, so I'm using it. So I'm cutting up the onion. I'm going to fry it in the frying pan while I mix everything else together. And I think that's just to make sure, like, the onion's cooked. So I'm going to throw the onion in the frying pan. Okay, so while the onion's cooking, I've got the meat, the breadcrumb mixture, the basil, and so it calls for a tablespoon of ketchup or chili sauce. The thing I love about this recipe is it uses this Thai sweet chili sauce. And it doesn't have to be this brand. And I know I'm putting in more than a tablespoon. I love this stuff. I could drink it. I'm also going to be putting it on the top. I've got a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. So actually, my daughter found this recipe. And I fell in love with it. So salt and pepper to taste. So I'm going to mix this up. If I can find my fork. And then I'll put the onion in when it's done. And this is going to go in the oven at 350. And I just do it on my stoneware baking tray. I form it into a loaf, put it on the tray, cook it open, not covered, not in a... Okay, so it's so much easier with your hands. My hands are clean. Yeah, so get this all mixed in. I'm going to check my onions, then mix them in, and then it's ready to go in the tray. And then I will be back. I cut myself, got another Band-Aid. If anyone has stock in Band-Aid, brand Band-Aids, you can thank me later. Because cuts and burns, those are my workplace hazards. Okay, so I have my onions. So they're fried. Putting them in. It's just to soften them. You don't have to really cook them. So mix them in. And honestly, you can throw other things in here. If I had raw spinach up here or something I needed to use, I would put it in. The thing I like about this one is the sauce. I'm just going to tell you what it is right now because I may not get back to this part. So it's half a cup of chili sauce. So that's the sweet Thai chili sauce. It says half a cup of ketchup. I prefer to use barbecue sauce. And you don't put that on. And it also says 2 tablespoons of sugar, but I leave that out. You don't have to put that sauce on until, let me see. So you're going to form a loaf on the prepared baking tray, bake for 40 minutes, combine the sauce, spread it over the meatloaf, and bake an additional 10 to 15 minutes or until cooked through and the meatloaf reaches 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Broil 1 to 2 minutes if desired. I never have to broil it because honestly, I probably overcook it. But I like it crispy on the outside. So I'm taking my stoneware baking pan. See how well seasoned that is? That's from years of use. I love this thing. I'm going to put the meatloaf mixture right on the pan. And I'm just going to form it into a loaf. The flatter it is, the quicker it's going to cook. But you want it uniform because you don't want it cooking quicker on one end or, you know, one part more than another. But you also don't want like really small slices. So this looks about right. I'm going to put that in the oven for about 40 minutes. And then I will put the sauce on and then I will let it cook until I think it's done. And it's the texture and crispness, and that sauce is going to, I'm just going to wash my hands. That sauce is going to caramelize on top of the meatloaf. But for now, we're just cooking the meatloaf. I'm doing baked potatoes at the same time in the oven. If you've got the oven on, you might as well take advantage of the fact that you have that heat. The other thing I'm doing is acorn squash. And I've cut them in half. And I am coating it with butter. Not a lot, but a fair amount. On the insides, kind of along the edges. And I'm baking it uncovered. I'm going to salt and pepper this. And then I'm also going to sprinkle Parmesan cheese on top. But I'm going to wait for the cheese till this is almost done and softened. And that way the cheese won't burn. Let me see, what else am I going to put on this? I'm going to put some garlic powder. So I don't know where you are, but I'm telling you, the last couple days have been gorgeous. So like I said, our friends are coming over tonight. We're going to have a nice supper. I got a fresh box of wine. My other friend is bringing a salad because I don't really have all the stuff right now. And we're going to have a great meal, and it's going to cost a fraction of what we would have paid if you were getting wine and food and everything. I checked the prices on the menu of where she suggested going. For one, the food's all fatty. It's all like pub style food, and that's okay if that's what you like. But I've been eating like crap the last couple of days with Thanksgiving. Somebody stole, oh, there's my pepper and my salt. So I really don't want French fries. I probably won't even have the potatoes. I may not. I don't worry about potatoes as far as carbs go. So lots of pepper. But I just want whole food. Like honestly, I can't take a lot of crap food. Nice for a treat, but, and I mean, what we've been eating isn't crap necessarily, but it's way more stuff, less vegetables than I typically eat. Okay, so I've got those done. I think I'm going to put them beside the meatloaf. Might as well use the same pan. You know, make the most of what you're already doing. Dirty as few dishes as possible. If these aren't totally done when the meatloaf, yeah, I think I'll still sauce it on here. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. I'll be back, hopefully, if I don't forget. So now for the glaze. And of course, it does have sugar, so the lid's sticky. I'm doing half a cup-ish. Listen, this is the best. Oh yeah, that's way more than half. Anyway. We'll make something else. But better than ketchup is I have Bullseye barbecue sauce. And I actually am kind of fussy about barbecue sauce. Ask my husband.
Yep.
Yep, he says yes. Yeah. So anyway, I'm putting half a cup of this in. Ish. I like extra sauce because you can put it on top on your plate as well. I did this turn the stove up higher than it was supposed to be because I still have to bake the potatoes. So my favorite way to do baked potatoes, yes, that's why I had this bowl out. Let's switch gears. You wouldn't believe the difference it makes. So I've got my potatoes, they're all washed. I'm coating them with olive oil. and salt. And you would not believe how crispy and delicious they are. A few grains of salt, mixing them all up so they're all well coated. And then I'll just put them in the oven with the meatloaf and the squash. And they should all be done around the same time. At least that's the plan. And I mean, you could put garlic powder, you could put whatever, but just the olive oil and salt, or any oil and salt, makes them so yummy. Okay, so I'm gonna try and remember to come back when this is done, or when I glaze the meatloaf, but if not, I'll try and remember to take a picture of my plate. Have a good day, guys. Okay guys, so this is where we're at right now. So I've just turned these potatoes. I've glazed the meatloaf, but I really like to glaze in a couple of stages. So I've put this initial glaze on. I want to let that cook for a bit, and then I'll put more glaze on, and then we'll see where we're at. I might keep the rest to put on the meatloaf when it's done and on our plates as a sauce. But anyway, the squash is almost done. Again, I like it well done. The potatoes are sort of done, but not quite. So we're putting those back in. The meatloaf, again, I haven't checked the temperature. I typically go by smell and look and whatever. So we'll see, but I will try and get back to you. But I just thought I'd keep you up to date. So that you see the process, and in case I forget to video more, at least you've got this far. Okay guys, so this is the end product. I am going to take the potatoes and squash off, let them sit for a little bit. I just rebasted the meatloaf. It is way more than done, but I like the sauce like cooked. So I'm taking the rest of this off. I'm going to let it sit for a bit. I'm going to put the meatloaf back in for a few minutes and then let it sit before we eat it. So this may be the last actual shot I get of this, because I will forget, and my company's coming soon and it gets busy. But yeah, this is supper tonight, and it was quick, it was simple, it was easy. Let me know if you try it. If you like my channel, subscribe down below. Hit the notification button so that you get all the videos that I post. I try to do 2 a week. But yeah, hit subscribe. I'm at 79 right now. So, I mean, I'm coming up. That makes me happy. Not because I'm trying to become popular, but because I feel like what I'm creating, and I will improve. I know it's not perfect. My goal is to reach out to people, actual, normal, real people who want to incorporate healthy meals into their diet without boxed meals, without processed stuff, on a budget, like all the things. Cook it at home from scratch. That's my best advice. But anyway, if you're enjoying these videos, give me a thumbs up on my video, subscribe to my channel, and there's another thing. Oh yeah, notifications. Hit the notification bell and select all notifications. Like I said, we could have gone out for dinner tonight, but seriously, it doesn't even appeal to me anymore. There's a couple places I really like, but they're stupid expensive in my opinion, and I don't have those finances, and I'm not, like, I could spend our whole week's grocery bill on one dinner. Not doing that. So enjoy, cook at home, have fun, be creative, do your own thing. You can take a recipe and you can modify it, add, subtract, whatever you want to do to make it suit you. Just enjoy the process.